how to reprogram your mind consciously. Now, this is a very exciting topic because this topic has enabled me and my clients to rapidly shift into the version of us that is capable of achieving the results that we want within a very short amount of time. Now, without further ado, let me dive right in. Firstly, on the right-hand side, this is the scale. This is the scale of the level of which your belief systems reside within your mind, both consciously and unconsciously. How you think about your beliefs, you can also think of it as degree of buy-in. Your belief systems are essentially your degrees of buy-ins. What do I mean by that? How strong your belief is the degree of which you're buying into the certain idea, the certain rule, if you may say, or the certain assumption of life that you want to give to your brain, your unconscious brain, in order to see the world in a certain way. Why does your mind need to do that? It's because one of the primary functions of your unconscious mind is to get you to survive. In order for you to survive, you need a certain rules to be embedded within your conscious mind. Otherwise, you cannot function because there are way too many things for us to be able to remember in order to function consciously. Our brain is only a certain size. We can only process up to certain bits of information per second. And so the rest of the jobs are actually left for your unconscious mind. It is the one that actually runs your entire body, that makes your heart pump. So we are required to only process a certain amount of information. And so the rest of the information, we basically use our belief systems and the rest that we buy into in order to help us survive in the entire world. Know that the unconscious mind's agenda is survival. It's actually not making you live the life that you truly fulfill to live. That's why you're having inner conflicts. Now, I talk about this a bit more in my other videos, which I'm going to link in the descriptions below. However, for the purpose of this, what you need to understand is you are buying into these beliefs. And the reason this definition is so powerful is because it actually puts the power back into your hands, because you are the one who's buying into this idea. You're the one who's buying into this thought. You're the one who is buying into this way of looking at the world. And because you're the one buying into it, you have the power to change it. So just know that these are all the levels of the buy-ins that you have in order for you to construct what the world looks like. Now that we have established that, let's go from the basic level. The most basic level that we have are the thoughts. And if you look at on my left-hand side, this is basically also the scale in terms of which part is actually residing within your conscious mind, which part resides within your unconscious mind. As you can see, the unconscious actually takes a whole lot version, a much bigger part than the conscious. The thoughts are within your conscious control. This is what you're aware of. And the thoughts, if you just buy into a little bit more in terms of making it into a belief system, the next level is it actually turns into beliefs. So for example, if I am introverted and I see other people who are extroverted succeeding in the whole wide world, I may be comparing myself to other people and then think, oh, maybe because I'm not extroverted and hence I can't succeed. This could just start out as a thought. And then if you think about it a little bit more, it will become a belief. Let me run you through how that forms. The belief can also be thought of as the unconscious. Okay, I'm using plural, but one belief can be one of your unconscious definition. So just know that you cannot have a belief unless and until you define something. You have to be willing to define something a certain way. You have to be willing to define a situation, a circumstance, a person, yourself. You have to be able to define in order to form a belief system. Now, the beliefs, when you start holding the beliefs, it starts becoming unconscious, because the belief is what you store, what your unconscious mind needs to store in order to tell you what the world is like outside. It helps you to create an experience for yourself, so you don't have to think too much. For example, you truly believe that gravity works so that you can just walk. You don't have to think about floating out in the air. If you don't have that belief system, you may be worried. So the belief system help us to look at the world with assumption. Assumption is just a belief that you do not question. That's why it's dangerous. So that it helps you not think too much and only focus on what you need to focus. I'm going to come into that very, very quickly. This is unconscious definition. Now, this definition leads to, you can only have this if you have a definition. That is why your feelings, when you have a definition of something, that is when you can feel something about a certain way. If you don't define something a certain way, you will not have a feeling about it. Just for example, if I were to say chair, you will not be able to feel certain things because you may not have a definition about a chair. But if I were to say your ex-wife, the government, you may feel certain ways. So just know that feeling is very dependent on the definitions of the beliefs. And because they're almost instant, you can think of this as one thing together. The beliefs creates a feeling instantly. However, the belief is what generates the feelings, or the definitions is what generates the feelings. So you can think of this as a whole because it's a split second that your unconscious basically generates the feelings. Now, I have done another YouTube video on this. It's called the personality triangle, which I go into more details of this concept, and basically also explains this part. Now, in terms of feelings, once you generate the feelings actually is a very significant indicator for your unconscious mind. Why is that the case? Because all feelings are unconscious. Feelings are generated unconsciously. And if you look at feminine and masculine energy, I also talk about feminine and masculine energy, feminine and masculine actions, is that thoughts you can think of as masculine. The feelings are the feminine. So you can have the feminine feelings spawn into 1,000 thoughts, or you can also have the masculine thoughts creating the feelings this way. So there is a lot of relationship going on to here, which I'm not going to go into much more detail, but just know that the degrees of shift, the degrees of beliefs in terms of the buy-in that you have of certain ideas, it goes from thought, which generates the belief, which is a definition, and then comes into feeling. But once you have the beliefs and the feelings triggered and activated, it actually triggers your reticular activation system, IIAS. This is so powerful. What does the IIAS do? IIAS is literally the gateway between your conscious and your subconscious mind. So it goes a bit like this. What it does is that it tells you, your conscious mind, what to focus on. It's like an unspoken filter that you have on your mind once your IIAS is being triggered. I'll give you a very prime example of IIAS is when I have bought my car, my first car. When I have bought my Honda CR-V, I started to see the car everywhere on the road. Before buying that car, I hardly noticed the car and the model. But after I bought the car, all of a sudden, because it's important to me, my brain started seeking that thing into my experience, right? Have you also had the experience where you're walking towards someone and that person knows you, you know that person, but for some reason that person just doesn't see you at all? Or it could be you, that person could be you on the street, and you just couldn't see the friend that was walking towards you until that friend jumps right in front of you and say, hi. It's only because there's a filter. You don't see what's not important. And you may not, and at that time of your conscious mind, which is also governed by the IIAS, it doesn't come into your view of importance. There's a filter. So it actually filters out the rest of the information that's not important to your mind to manage, because remember, your conscious mind can only manage certain bits of information. The rest are being dumped to your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind literally filters out 10 times more information that doesn't go to your conscious mind, and it is through this reticular activation system. So that this is your filter of what comes into your conscious focus, right? Another great example, which I'm gonna end with this, is when I started looking for a vacuum cleaner. There's one day I needed to buy a vacuum cleaner, and then miraculously on my way to work, I suddenly see a vacuum cleaner ad and a vacuum cleaner shop. Before that day, I can swear I have not even noticed that there's a vacuum cleaner ad and there's a vacuum cleaner shop on the way from my place to my work. You see, that is just another example where, because it's become important for me to buy the vacuum cleaner, it triggered my reticular activation system, such that on my way to work, it now brought what used to be not important to me into my sight and say, hey, this is it. And why is this important? This is important is because if you want more opportunities in your life, if you want to hit that next level, the opportunities are not coming to you because it's being blocked by your way of confirming this within your unconscious mind. But by the end of this video, you will understand how to go bypass this. Now that you understand what IIAS is and the function, the important function that it plays in our conscious and unconscious minds, then you will know the reason the IIAS is so important in us creating the belief systems that we do is because the IIAS makes you seek confirmation in the entire wide world. Let's say that I started developing the belief in the previous example that because other people are extroverted, they have the success, and I start seeing a bit more people who are successful, who are more extroverted, and yet I'm introverted, and hence it triggers the IIAS, and then I'm going out into the world. And literally, when you hold that small belief, even if you have the buy-in at 30%, you're thinking extroverted people are more successful than introverted people, you start looking at the outside world. You start to see confirmations, and you're like, that person is successful because they're extroverted. This person, because of this personality trait. Obviously, it doesn't have to be extroverted, introverted. It can be personality traits. And therefore, they are successful, and therefore, I'm introverted, and therefore, I can't be successful in some of the areas, and therefore, I can't be a speaker. I can't do this job because I'm not good at this. And then it becomes the final level of belief system you need to be aware of. And then it becomes your conviction. Once you are convicted, it is so dangerous. Why is that? Because once you're convicted, it then becomes assumptions that you hold to be true. When you have assumptions and when you're convicted, you no longer question it. So in other words, when you have a little bit of doubt, the beliefs are still not yet so strong, you could still see yourself questioning it. There's still the possibility of it being something different. But when you are actually convicted about something, for example, you are shy and therefore you can't be successful in certain careers, or you simply can't be successful in life, that becomes a very dangerous assumption, which is not true. An assumption is just a belief system that you do not question. You do not question. So you want to absolutely change that. You need to be starting to become aware of where your convicted is. And remember what I said, this is just your level of buy-in into what's true. Your level of buy-in. At any given time, you can start questioning. It's just becoming aware of what it is. Now, I'm going to explain now how do you reprogram this consciously. Okay, so in terms of the thoughts, we have extrinsic thoughts. What are the extrinsic thoughts? Extrinsic thoughts are basically from your environments, from the people that you hang out with, from what you learn from school, and just in essence from the outside world, from media, etc. These are extrinsic thoughts coming in. What you have to do is, the extrinsic thoughts may not be helpful because, for example, in my previous example, you're introverted and you're shy, and you see someone else being extroverted and you think that they're more successful. You start comparing. Those could be extrinsic factor that comes in and saying, oh, I'm successful because of this, and because of you, because I'm shy, I can't be doing that. What you have to do consciously is you have to stop. Consciously stop those extrinsic thoughts coming through that are not helpful. And the thoughts, there are two types of thoughts, the extrinsic, but there's also the intrinsic. Intrinsic thoughts are what you generate, what you choose to generate. What you choose to generate. And therefore, you can choose to generate another version of you. Someone who don't believe in what this extrinsic environment is telling you. You can actually actively change here for it to be something a lot more helpful. You can start having thoughts like, I'm introverted, but I can still learn the skill sets to be successful just like everyone else. In fact, I'm learning how to do videos from a very introverted person who has done tremendously well. His name is Pen Jun, and he's one of my mentors, and I really love his story. If you haven't checked him out, he's one of the prime examples where you're introverted and you can be ultra successful. So the intrinsic thought is where you can actually make a shift and make a difference. Why is it so dangerous that we have to stop the extrinsic? Is because if you're kids, why do kids learn faster than adults? Kids learn faster than adults is because they learn unconsciously. They learn through their unconscious mind, not conscious mind, because conscious mind are slower than the unconscious mind. Unconscious mind is at minimum 10 times faster than the conscious mind. So kids do not learn through the conscious because they don't even have the basics of the language. Language is all conscious, right? They learn through the unconscious, and so through external environments from parents, etc., the extrinsic can go straight into their belief systems, straight into who they think they are. And so the extrinsic, that's why I have the two arrows here. It can go into your thought, it can actually start just forming a belief system that you have. That is why it is so dangerous. But don't worry, even if it goes through the belief systems and us adults, beliefs generate the feelings, and feelings are feminine. Feelings would also create hundreds and thousands of thoughts. The thoughts can be, when the thoughts come, you can still shift. You can still shift your thoughts into something that is more helpful. And this is also why visualization, meditation is so helpful, because meditation and visualization is actually working in this area. And it's helping you to reprogram your mind. And especially visualization, if you were to do it with a feeling, it actually would strengthen the feeling of what you want to create. Because you want to link it to the belief system, you want to eventually get to conviction. But the visualization is able to help at this level because it triggers your IIAS. Once it becomes strong enough, once you have a strong enough buy-in, strong enough belief system, strong enough conviction, then it triggers the IIAS. Now, just by visualization alone may not be able to just come to this stage, because ultimately our brain, our monkey mind, requires the confirmation, which is also another word for our mind requires evidence. So just to say I am abundant is not, I'm rich is not enough. Our mind requires us to be able to see the $100,000 coming into your bank account in order to really step into fully like the identity itself. Like it's just how our mind is wired. We are required by default to see evidence, to seek confirmation. And this is where you also want to consciously help your mind in seeking the confirmation of the person you want to become, of the ideal self you want to become, of the version of you that has the character traits and the belief system that you want to adopt. Now, just because I explained all of this, it doesn't mean that I am obsessed about changing belief systems. I am making, you'll find out more about me, and I'm making more videos. And one of the other things is that you can also shift yourself unconsciously, that without needing to know what your belief system is. And that will be another video for which I will produce. So back to this, in terms of the confirmation and in terms of the evidence, just by doing the visualization in changing here and also shifting here may not be enough. You really want to also help your brain in seeking confirmations. Let's say, use the example of I'm shy, I'm introverted. Maybe you would just need to start looking at outside of all the people who are successful. You may just need to look at, hey, who are introverted and still achieve outstanding success? And that would be a confirmation you can start doing. That would actually trick your brain into seeing the evidence of the belief system. One thing about your mind is also very you can use to your advantage is that your unconscious mind needs to hold on to something 100% true. So as soon as you have a hairpin of any doubt to say that this belief system is not true, your brain would start to open up. Your brain cannot hold on to something that's not true. So you really want to confirm the evidence of that by showing you more and more of evidence that, hey, I am introverted, I'm shy, but I can still succeed. And start looking for that evidence, and there will be plenty that you'll find. And the more you can see the evidence, the more you're going to have that conviction, the more you're going to have that assumption. And these are the ways for which you can consciously bypass this natural mechanism of how your brain works in order for you to create the version of you that you love and the version of you that is capable of creating your dream life. This is Silky Joel. I hope you have found this helpful. It is my pleasure to deliver this to you. Bye for now. Now that you have watched the video, the question is, what next? Do you want to become the biggest, boldest, happiest, most ecstatic version of you capable of achieving your dreams and crushing your goals fast? If that is the case, I want to invite you to work with me and my team to take you to the next level. And you probably realize by now, but the key is within you. You have the power to unlock all the power and the potential within you to completely smash every single area of your life. And our team is specialized to do that just for you. And I want you to go down to the bottom of the page where you're going to find the link to take you to book a consult call with me and my team. And we cannot wait to speak to you, because within this consult call, it's going to be 45 minutes purely focus on you and unlocking that treasure chest that is within you, because all of the gold and the treasure, everything is there. You just need to see it, and you may not have seen it right now, but we're going to help you find it, unlock it, and unleash you. You want to jump on because you already know that you have this burning desire within you that wants to come out, and you know that you deserve to crush your goals. And this session is going to be value-based. It's all going to be you-centered. It's not going to be me-centered. And this is not a sales call whatsoever, because this is just simply how we do. This is just simply not how we operate. And by the end of the the session, you would know whether you want to work with us, whether you love our energy. And one thing that we want to promise you is that we want to take on clients who we can get outstanding results. I don't just want mediocre. I don't want mediocre results. I want to make sure that we are a right fit, because I want to get outstanding results for you. And so if that is important to you, please jump on. Why do you want to do that? I'm going to say it again. You've done enough strategies and consults and tactics and everything and all the shiny objects outside to know that it is actually not about those. It's actually about you now. It's about you unlocking yourself so that you become the fuller version of you capable of achieving your dreams. And you're sick and tired of hitting your head against the wall, having sabotaging patterns. And we can diagnose that. I can completely help you go from where you are to where you need to go fast and direct without you needing to hit your head against the wall so many times and wasting so much unnecessary times, not knowing what to do, lack of clarity. That is such a time waster, because you can waste hours just not knowing what to do, days, weeks, and etc. Losing the momentum, losing, business opportunities and whatnot. So we can help you with all of those, and you will understand the value of mentorship. Why is that the case? Because unlocking yourself, self-mastery. Seriously, when you know this skill set, when you have this skill set, it's going to help you for the rest of your life. That's priceless. You can't put a price on that. Okay. So, and you want a good mentor to help you get you there. And you want to consistently hit your goals and your targets. And above all, you want to become the person you are proud to be. You're ecstatic to be. I love the word ecstatic. You're going to hear me use that a lot. And you want to learn the most important skill set of self-mastery. This is one skill set I am adamant to teach my children, because this is not being taught enough out in the world. And I think this is one of the most important skill sets that you can master in your life, because it's going to impact every single area of your life. We specialize in taking you from out of alignment to in alignment in business and in life, and it impacts every single area. And just know that once you're unlocked, just see things flow within your life. And right now you will feel the pull to jump on the call. So please, please, please don't dim that voice. Go down to the bottom of the page, jump on and book a session with me and my team. There's nothing for you to lose. There's everything for you to gain with that treasure chest. So please, please don't hesitate and jump on to do so. And again, who is this for? This is for ambitious go-getters and entrepreneurs who really want outstanding success in both business and in life. And I cannot wait to get to know you. I cannot wait to jump on the call with you. And Silky here. Bye for now.